Alright guys, so today on this part we're going to learn about finding the inverse. This was a topic that was supposed to be covered while I was gone, so I know that you guys haven't seen this before. However, finding the inverse is quite easy. Okay, there's 3 steps. The first step is to switch x and y, second step is to solve for y, and the third step is to replace y with f inverse of x. This symbol, f to the negative 1, means inverse. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. If I look at number 1, I'm going to switch x and y, and everything else stays the same. So the only thing that's changing is the variable. Okay, in order to solve for y, I need to subtract 5 from both sides, and you're left with x minus 5 is equal to negative y. Well, I don't want to leave it as a negative y, so I'm going to get rid of the negative y. Is it okay if I write it in this order? Okay, does the order matter? No, it doesn't, because an equal sign means that no matter if I put it on the left or the right, the left and right are still equal to each other. I would need to get rid of this negative 1 in the front. So in order to do that, I need to divide by negative 1.
Teachers, please excuse the interruption. Students, if you registered to vote about 2 weeks ago, we had a register to vote drive here at Parkland High School. Students, if you were one of the students who registered to vote, please report to the attendance office this next period. Once again, when the bell rings, if you registered to vote here at Parkland High School, please report to the attendance office as soon as the bell rings. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry for that interruption, but the last step you saw was y equals to negative x plus 5, but I need to replace the y with the f to the negative 1. Okay, so there's your solution. Alright, so go ahead and try number 3. Put pause to the video so that way you can see if you're on track. Okay, hopefully you tried this out on your own. This one's fairly easy. You switch the x and y and you need to solve for y. In order to solve for y, what we're doing is we're working on PEMDAS f step backwards. Okay, so you're going to subtract 5. Addition and subtraction goes first. And when you subtract 5 from both sides, you're left with x minus 5 is equal to y. We have solved for y. Now I just need to replace y with f inverse. So the inverse of x is equal to x minus 5. That's your inverse function. Okay, let's try number 2. Number 2 says y equals to 3x plus 7 divided by 8. First step is to switch the x and the y. Everything else stays the same. So you have x equals to 3y plus 7 divided by 8. Okay, in order to get rid of a divided by 8, I have to do the opposite, which is to multiply both sides times 8. When I multiply the right-hand side by 8, these cancel each other out, and I'm left with 8x is equal to 3y plus 7. Okay, I can't leave it like that. I need to get rid of the 7 by subtracting 7 from both sides. You're left with 8x minus 7 is equal to 3y. The very last step is to get rid of the 3 that we're multiplying by, and in order to do that, we're going to divide both sides by 3.
Estella Hernandez, please report to the Council Center. Estella Hernandez, please report to the Council Center.
Okay, so your final answer is 8x minus 7 divided by 3. I don't want to leave the y there. I'm going to replace it with f to the negative 1 of x. So the inverse function is 8x minus 7 divided by 3. Okay, if you notice, everything switches. So it used to be divide by 8, now it's multiply by 8. It used to be plus 7, now it's divide by 7. Subtract 7. And it used to be multiply by 3, and now it's divide by 3. If you look at number 3, it said x plus 5. Your final answer is x minus 5, your inverse. So the inverse means just the opposite of whatever it is that you were doing. All right? If you notice, number 1 is special because on number 1, the inverse and the original problem are the same. The inverse and the original problem are the same.